Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing today on the 24th of August, 2024? We are on the positive timeline. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today in history, on the 24th, does it say the year? Let's see, in the year 79 AD, all right, so we're going way back, almost 2,000 years ago, Mount Vesuvius erupts. On August 24th, after the centuries of dormancy, Mount Vesuvius erupts in southern Italy, devastating the prosperous Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum and killing thousands. The cities, buried under a thick layer of volcanic material and mud, were never rebuilt and largely forgotten in the course of history. In the 18th century, Pompeii and Herculaneum were rediscovered and excavated, providing an unprecedented archaeological of record of the everyday life of the ancient civilization, startling, preserved, and sudden death. So, yeah, this is a day in history. On the 24th, Mount Vesuvius erupts. I hope you guys could hear me. I don't know if it makes a difference if I bring my microphone closer to me. Can you guys hear me? I don't even think it's this mic that I'm talking into. I think I'm talking into my laptop here. But in either case, I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful day on the 24th. Now, today, on this very day, I do want to go over, excuse me, I do want to go over life and the inner earth, the type of races that exist, advanced civilizations that exist within the inner earth. There are so many of them. Their type of technologies that they use, the type of atmospheric conditions that exist, and what's going to be happening when we make contact with inner earth, when our surface population once again reunites with the advanced civilizations of inner earth. Okay, guys? I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful evening on this very day. And I also wanted to thank you guys for being here. Now, anything else? Oh, yes. Some people always ask me in the comments, well, where can I get your book, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, or Our Cosmic Origin? And the answer to that is in Amazon, or you can go through my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and there is a direct link that takes you to the books. For those that haven't had a chance to read either or, I would first start with The Secret Government and then move on to Our Cosmic Origin. So, the inner earth apparently has been a topic in the disclosure community. Many believe that these are the lost continents that Admiral Byrd saw when he went down to Antarctica and happened to enter one of the stargates. So the inner earth is believed to be inhabited by highly advanced civilizations, some of which have originated from ancient surface populations or extraterrestrial origins. And I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Breakaway groups have always existed, guys. I think, this Earth has always been the nexus point of many advanced extraterrestrial races that are now coming back to the surface. So the most frequent civilizations include, of course, Agartha, which is one of the most famous inner Earth civilizations. Agartha is described as a vast network of subterranean cities, with its capital often referred to as Shambhala. These cities are said to be interconnected through a series of tunnels and advanced transportation systems. Now, this is not to be associated with the tunnels and the subterranean networks of the Cabal. We're talking about miles deep in the Earth. Okay, the Earth is a cavern system with different layers. All right, so the Cabal only occupies the first upper layers, or they have been. But we're talking about layers beyond the region that the Cabal has been, interacting with negative aliens. So another civilization is known as Telos, of course. Mount Shasta is the center or the gateway to the Telos organization, which many believe exists underneath Northern California. So another prominent inner Earth city believed to be located beneath Mount Shasta in California. The inhabitants of Telos are said to be Lemurians, ancient surviving Lemurians. And of course, that used to exist on the surface world when Lemuria, the continent of Lemuria, was still fully intact in the Pacific Ocean before it was destroyed by Marduk, for those that have read Our Cosmic Origin. In the true history and galactic history of the Earth. The next group of people are the Anshar. Now, the Anshar is a group of beings believed to be from the inner Earth who have evolved separately from the surface humans. They are said to be spiritually advanced and may have originated from ancient human civilizations beyond Lemuria and beyond Atlantis. Some people believe that the Ansharans are actually future versions of ourselves that have come back in time to once again live within the inner Earth. And the different types of technologies that exist within the inner Earth are described as being extremely advanced, blending spiritual and technological elements in ways that are not yet possible on the surface. Some of these technologies include free energy devices, of course. Inner Earth civilizations are believed to have harnessed limitless free energy from the Earth's magnetic field, right? Tapping into the toroidal field, right? Which is the planetary power of a Mother Earth, and other sources, of course, eliminating the need for fossil fuels or other destructive, harmful technologies that the cabal has been using. They also have advanced healing technologies. They are said to possess highly advanced medical technology, including healing chambers that can rejuvenate and heal the body using light, sound, and other non-invasive methods. Teleportation and anti-gravity vehicles, that's another one. Inner Earth inhabitants reportedly use teleportation devices and anti-gravity ships for transportation, both within their cities and possibly even after non-invasive methods and other non-invasive methods. Now, they also have teleportation devices, of course, and anti-gravity vehicles. They also use crystal technology. Crystals play a significant role in inner Earth technologies used for energy regeneration, healing, communication, and storing information. Believe it or not, guys, crystals have been used by ancient advanced civilizations, case in point, the Atlanteans, to store information. Store information. In fact, the Atlanteans used a very advanced form of crystal technology that they used to power up the entire grid. Some narratives suggest that these crystals can also amplify psychic abilities, which explains the ancient mystery schools that were all associated with the pyramids, the great pyramids of Egypt, right? For instance, the King's Chamber. It is amplified with cosmic energies that are coming through the top of the pyramid into the Earth. So holographic technology is another technology that the inner Earth civilizations possess, and unfortunately, that is some of the technology that even the cabal has had access to, right? So holograms and other visual technologies are said to be used for various purposes, including education, communication, and of course, entertainment. This is beyond the movies, by the way. So most people think, wow, is it boring to be in the inner Earth? Like here in the surface world, we could go to the park, we could go to Disneyland, we could go watch a movie, we could go, no, it's actually much funner in the inner Earth. Everything is so much alive. Instead of watching a movie, you could actually use holographic technology to be a part of the movie. All right. So it's much funner in there, inside the Earth. So let's talk about some of the races that exist within the inner Earth. So the inner Earth is believed to be the home to a variety of races, some of which have originated from the surface, while others could be extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, or some that have evolved separately in the Earth's interior, right? In the Earth's interior. For example, we do have remnant Atlanteans, right? Some narratives suggest that survivors of Atlantis also reside in inner Earth, having retreated there after the fall of their surface civilization. Not to mention remnant Lemurians, the inhabitants of Telos, for example, believed to be survivors of ancient Lemurian civilization. They are described as tall, peaceful, and spiritually advanced beings who live in harmony with nature. Very similar to the Pandorians in the movie Avatar. And then, of course, another race is a negative, race, the reptilians. The reptilians that have been ruling this world or the overlords of the cabal, have also had their section in the inner earth, mainly in Antarctica, which is the reason why the Nazis went over to Antarctica to build out their secret space program, because they were connected to the inner earth caverns where the reptilians were, which is in Antarctica. So another race often mentioned in the inner earth lore, which are the reptilians, though they are more controversial. Apparently, they have been the bad guys when it comes to this war against evil. The overlords, you could say, of the human hybrid cabal families. Some sources describe them as malevolent beings, as demonic, while others suggest they are different factions, that not all reptilians are evil, that there are some groups of these reptilian factions that are actually neutral. They don't partake in the wars. And some are, of course, benevolent. But that is a small percentage, my friends. And then, of course, we also have Nordic aliens. Blonde hair, blue eye people. These beings are described as tall, blonde, and physically similar to humans, but more advanced. They are often depicted as benevolent and involved in guiding humanity's spiritual evolution. But let me make a distinction here, my friends. There are two types of Nordics. There are benevolent Nordics, which are mainly Pleiadian refugees that have sought refuge within the inner earth. And then there are malevolent Nordics, and these come from the star system of Aldebaran. Case in point, Maria Orsic, who was part of the inner core of the Germanic secret society known as the Thule, working for the name of the secret society within the Thule was known as Vril, the Vril Society. That's the word I was looking for. So the Vril Society inherited their advanced technologies from the negative Nordics from the Aldebaran system, not to be confused with the positive benevolent Nordics that come from the Pleiades. Okay, and then of course we also have Anunnaki factions, mainly those that were left in charge of the earth. Right, the good Anunnaki. I was informed that they left the earth at some point. Unfortunately, that's when our planet became controlled by the negative Anunnaki, who were left behind and took over the affairs of the earth. Well, guess where those bases were? Mainly in Africa, because that's where Enki had his main stronghold, but they had also established certain underground caverns all around the world. So we do have negative Anunnaki factions that also coexisted within the inner earth. And there is rumors that throughout the thousands of years, these Anunnaki factions have been at war with the benevolent beings of the inner earth. So a lot of wars have been also going on between the negative Anunnaki and the positive remnants of ancient civilizations. And then, of course, we also have elementals. Elementals and nature spirits. Inner earth is also said to be the home to various elemental beings, such as the fairies, the gnomes, and other nature spirits who are closely connected to the inner earth's natural energies. Now, let's talk about the environment within the inner earth, the environment and the way of life. The environment within the inner earth is often depicted as being lush and verdant with a central sun or light source that provides illumination and energy. So they do have a central sun. In fact, there are two central suns. There is the central sun that is at the center of the galaxy, known as Ophiuchus, Hanab-Ku, or Kalab. And then there is the central sun in the inner earth that gives light to the inner continents, or what many call the unseen continents. Okay, so the inner earth is said to have a smaller central sun that provides warm golden light, sustaining life much like the sun does on the surface world. So let's talk about the flora and fauna in the inner earth. Okay, so the plant and animal life in the inner earth is described as abundant, very colorful, very exotic looking specimens. And this explains why there is an inner ocean that our scientists have recently discovered with what they would call exotic life forms that are coming out from the inner oceans of the inner earth. So there's two types of oceans. There's our oceans from the surface, and there are the inner earth oceans. Okay, so they have exotic life forms. So it is described as abundant, the life forms, and unspoiled, often featuring species that are either extinct on the surface or unknown to surface dwellers. To give you guys an example, the woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth, which was an extinct, giant elephant with horns, right? We hear about the woolly mammoth. Well, it turns out that Admiral Byrd did encounter these extinct creatures that still exist within the inner earth, just to give you guys an example. So let's talk about the social structure of the inner earth. So inner earth societies are generally depicted as harmonious and utopian, with a strong emphasis on spiritual growth, community, and living in balance with nature. Money is not used in the inner earth. There is no economy, guys. There is no economy. And resources are shared collectively. Let's talk about their spiritual practices. So the inhabitants of the inner earth are said to be highly spiritual, often engaging in meditation, telepathy, and other practices that enhance their connection to higher dimensions and universal consciousness. And life in the inner earth, due to their advanced technologies and spiritual practices, the beings in inner earth are often described as having significantly longer lifespans, sometimes living for thousands of years and thousands of years in the same avatar, in the same body. So if they were to come to the surface, they would appear to be immortal. And having access to the inner earth is very limited. Only a few throughout history have had the opportunity to have access to the inner earth. It is believed that the entry points to the inner earth societies are carefully guarded by spirits, by nature spirits, and some even believe that they are also guarded by, you could say, a type of angel. There are different types of angels that are at the doorways that are also guardians of the inner earth entries. So in order to have access to the inner earth, it is said to be restricted and guarded by the inhabitants, with entrances located at various points around the world, including the poles, certain mountain ranges, and of course, deep caves. Only those who are spiritually advanced or who have been invited by the inner earth civilization are said to be able to enter. So again, not anyone could enter the inner earth. And I believe that Hitler was actually after these access points. And he was almost successful in the North Pole, but he was blocked. And so that's why he went to the South Pole. And he made contact with the reptilians that live underneath the ice caps of Antarctica. The connection to the surface world. Okay, so what is their connection to the surface world? Well, there are also narratives that suggest that the inner earth civilizations are involved in guiding or influencing the surface world, particularly in times of great change or crisis. Some believe that these beings will emerge when humanity is ready to join them in a higher state of consciousness. So in other words, they are waiting for us to get out of the warlike mentality, to get out of the different belief system mentality and come into one universal understanding of spirituality. So they are waiting for us to evolve in order to make contact with us. And my friends, that day is coming very, very soon, because consciousness on this planet is accelerating, thank God, due to the Great Awakening. So let's talk about the future life on Earth and Earth after contact with inner Earth civilizations for a bit. Openings. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So imagine a world where ancient myths and modern science converge, where ancient advanced civilizations living beneath, or rather, where advanced civilizations, right, remnants of ancient civilizations living beneath our feet extend a hand in friendship and cooperation. Well, today we explore the profound changes and opportunities that await humanity when the surface world makes contact with the civilizations of the inner earth. So to provide a comprehensive overview of what life on the surface will be like following this momentous event, right, making contact with the inner earth society, covering societal changes, technological advances, and spiritual evolution and global cooperation. So number one, there's going to be a sense of global unification worldwide. And I'm not talking about a one world government controlled by a centralized elite where everyone is chipped to the Borg. I'm talking about a decentralized one world commonwealth where everyone is a sovereign individual and everyone matters. Okay. This is what I'm talking about as a global unification. So the revelation of inner earth civilizations will likely lead to a profound sense of global unity. Nations and cultures may come together as we realize that we are not alone on this planet, fostering an era of unprecedented cooperation and peace. So there's going to obviously be new governing models, right? We're going to go back to a council, back to a spiritual synarchy, right? The way it's being practiced all throughout the cosmos, where we have a council of elders, right? Councils within councils within councils, right? So the wisdom and experience of inner earth societies could inspire new forms of governance that prioritize spiritual growth, environmental stewardship, and the well-being of beings on planet Earth. These models may be more decentralized, transparent, and focused on community welfare. Cultural exchange, the exchange of knowledge, art, and traditions between surface and inner earth cultures will enrich both societies. New cultural paradigms may emerge. All right, blending of the best of both worlds into a more harmonious and enlightened global civilization. So let's talk about some of the technological advancements that are going to be happening as a result of this unification between us and the inner earth civilizations. So there's going to be obviously an energy revolution. Inner earth civilizations are believed to harness free energy technologies far beyond any of our current systems. These technologies could be shared with the surface world, leading to a complete transformation of our energy infrastructure, eliminating resilience on fossil fuels and ushering in a new era of clean, limitless energy. Medical breakthroughs. Medical breakthroughs. Many of us talk about these medbeds. Well, these technologies, healing through frequency devices, it's already existing within the inner earth. So the advanced healing technologies of inner earth, such as light, sound healing chambers, that's right, guys, this is beyond medbeds, sound healing chambers, could revolutionize healthcare on the surface. Well, it'll put an end to the current medical infrastructure as we know it. Therefore, disease and ailments that have plagued humanity for centuries will be eradicated, leading to a significantly longer, healthier life. Another thing that is going to be happening is environmental restoration. So with access to inner earth technologies, we could reverse much of the environmental damage caused by industrialization. Advanced methods of cleaning the biosystem of the earth, or the biosystem, and rejuvenating the ecosystem, which will also correspond to the rejuvenation of our health, will restore the planet to a state of natural balance and abundance. Transportation and communication. Well, teleportation and anti-gravity technologies could revolutionize travel and communications as well, shrinking distances and making global interactions instantaneous. This will not only enhance global trade and travel, but also bring people closer together. And what about spiritual evolution? Well, spiritual evolution is at the cornerstone of this unification between the surface civilization and the inner earth civilization. So there has to be a sense of heightened consciousness in order to make contact with spiritually advanced inner earthlings, which will likely accelerate our spiritual evolution, of course. Practices such as meditation, telepathy, and energy work may become more widespread, even on the surface, right? When we reach this level of consciousness, leading to a collective rise in consciousness and an enhanced connection to the cosmos. And with that comes the integration of ancient wisdom. The spiritual teachings and ancient wisdom preserved by the inner earth civilizations will be shared with surface dwellers, offering guidance on living in harmony with nature and the universe. The knowledge will help us rediscover our true potential as spiritual beings made in the image of the one creator. And this will also initiate universal connection with one another and with our planet. As we integrate these spiritual practices, humanity will experience a deeper connection with the earth, the universe, and with one another. This new understanding will foster a sense of global unity and a shared purpose in the journey of ascension, which will lead to global cooperation, which is the beginning stages of what the law of one calls a social memory complex. So let's talk about global cooperation as we envision making contact with the inner earth civilizations. So there's going to be a sense of joint projects between us and them, right? We're going to be collaborating with them. The surface and the inner earth civilizations will likely collaborate on large scale projects that will benefit the entire planet on the surface. And this could include environmental restoration, infrastructure development, and the creation of new educational systems that reflect our shared knowledge and values, which will lead to what? To defense and protection, right? Guarding our planet and our realm and our solar system from negative races. So this would incorporate or will allude to an alliance between the surface and the inner earth civilizations that may also foster in the protection of the earth from external threats coming from different dimensions, from other galaxies or other universes. Together, we could develop technologies and strategies to safeguard our planet from cosmic or interdimensional dangers, which will lead to humanitarian efforts, right? With the resources and knowledge of inner earth at our disposal, we could eliminate poverty, hunger, and inequality across the world like this. These efforts would ensure that every individual on the surface has access to the basic necessities of life, fostering global peace and stability. Now, what are some of the challenges and opportunities that we might face as we make contact with the inner earth societies? Well, there's going to be a huge blending of cultural integration, right? While the potential benefits of contact are immense, there will also be challenges in integrating the vastly different cultures and technologies of the inner earth with our own. We must approach this process with open minds and hearts, ready to learn and adapt. Maintaining balance is key, right? As we gain access to powerful new technologies and spiritual practices, it will be essential to maintain a balance between progress and responsibility. The lessons learned from the inner earth civilization could guide us in using this gift wisely and ethically. Embracing change. Well, the transformation of life on earth will require a willingness to let go of outdated beliefs and systems that no longer serve us or that keep us limited and stuck. Embracing change and working together with our inner earth counterparts will also likely be key to creating a bright and prosperous future. So, the contact between the surface and the inner earth civilization marks the beginning of the new era for humanity, an era of unity, enlightenment, and unparalleled growth, spiritual growth, that is. As we embark on this journey together, the possibilities for our future are limitless. Limitless. This is the age of accountability. This is the age of spiritual evolution. Okay, this is the age where we become divine beings, Homo luminous. Call to action. Let us prepare ourselves for this extraordinary future by cultivating a spirit of openness, curiosity, and cooperation. By doing so, we will be ready to embrace the profound changes and opportunities that await us in this new chapter of Earth's history as we reunite with our brothers and sisters that exist within the inner Earth. My brothers and sisters, Galactic Jedis, Freedom Fighters, how are you all doing? I do want to acknowledge some of you guys here. I see Ricky Lee is in the house. Let me put my glasses so I can see. Where are those glasses? Who else is in the house? Joanna is in the house. I don't know where my glasses are. Radiant Guardians is in the house. Donna. Um, who else is in the house? Edward. Edward Jerome. What's up, Edward Jerome? Thank you so much for that donation, brother. I appreciate that. They're very generous of you. Venusia is in the house. Who else is in the house? Richard Livin, Sylvia Vidal, Margarita Doricher, Patricia M, Andromeda Daisy, Michael Hoyston, let's see, Glory Brilliant, Samuel Husseif, hopefully I'm pronouncing your names right, and everyone else. Natasha M, 2020 Portfolio, Andrew Mackey, Lee Starr, Blue Sky, MJF, and Sandra. Hello to everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here on this Saturday evening. So at this point, let's kind of imagine, let's use our imaginations to feel and think what it's like to be part of a society where we're actually living in cooperation with advanced civilizations that exist within these other layers, right? These other layers and continents that will once again be accessible to us. You know, we talk about going on trips to Europe, you know, going on a vacation to Spain, but what about going on a monthly tour to the inner earth continents where we could, you know, interact with exotic specimens and animals that are actually good, you know, that are vegetarian, animals that are very benevolent, exotic specimens and creatures that are going to be talking to us telepathically. You know, I want you guys to imagine what life is going to be like when we get to experience and see for ourselves these other continents and lands that have been hiding, or not hiding, but have been hidden from us for thousands and thousands of years. If you guys have any questions, please type them in capital letters. I am here to address questions at this time, guys. Oh, and by the way, I know it's not Monday night White Hat update, but I just have to acknowledge RFK Jr., right, for, you know, for aligning with Trump and for being on his side. I don't know if you guys heard his talk, but he is endorsing 45, soon to be 47. And to me, that was awesome, right? Goes to show that the Kennedys are part of the White Hats, and they have been all the way, guys, all right? So it's awesome. I'm loving that RFK Jr. and Trump are teaming up. Wow, that is good. And that is a huge blow to the deep state. A huge blow to the deep state. I'm looking for questions. If you guys have any questions, if you guys could type them in capital letters, I'm here to answer any questions that you guys might have. No, this is not going to happen in 10 years' time. This is going to happen soon. You know, I mentioned this before and I'll say it again, guys. It is it looks like the big solar flash is going to happen in the spring of 2025. But some people believe that the true ending of the Mayan calendar is actually going to be this December in 2024. So it's always best to be prepared. You know, I like to give specific times, but I want to say that it's going to happen very, very soon. Okay, let me just put it this way. By 2028, by no later than 2028, we will already be part of a galactic civilization living in a utopian type of society where everybody lives in cooperation. How's that? Edwards, Jerome, thank you so much for the super chat. Stuart Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, I'm going to answer this question. Oh, wait. Will the sleepers eventually realize how blessed we are for the sacrifices the Alliance and the White Hats have made? Yes, absolutely. Well, there's always the element of free will, so we have to respect their free will. Not everyone is going to accept the truth. There is going to be a sense of huge cognitive dissonance when this disclosure takes place. And some of the normies are going to wake up, and some of the normies are just going to go berserk, right? They're going to go berserk because of their heavy programming. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please hit the like and the subscribe button so you guys could always get the notifications as to when I go live. All right, so let's see. What ETs living in 12, 13 dimensions? This is a question from Samuel Hussein. That is a very good question. Give me a second. Let me find my glasses so I don't have to stress here. Let's see. What did I do with my glasses? Oh, I left them in my car. It's all right. I'm going to have to just... Okay, so what ETs are living in the 12, 13 dimensions? Well, they're actually considered luminous, non-physical beings of light. They're made out of hydroplasma. They use about 48 strands of DNA, and they're just light beings. They don't have, they could materialize physical form at will, but they are part of the unified force. They're different fragments. They are the first fragments of the one unified force that we call God, Prime Creator Source. So these are the beings like the Ancient of Days, right? These are the 7 major cosmic rays that are also personalized, that have personalities. And then you also have the 12 archetypes. So beings like the 7 cosmic rays, or the 7 major spirits, personalities, and the 12 or 13 archetypes are the beings that exist in the 12 and 13 dimension. So these are known as cosmic ratios. There are so many names to describe them. They are part of the eternal sphere, so they don't have beginnings or ends. They are what we call eternals, or what many call eternals. That's a very good question. And yes, guys, we do also have access to the 12 and 13 dimensions. Nature Boy. Nature Boy's asking, will the inner Earth people eventually mate with humans? Wow, that is a very good question. I would have to say yes. As we begin to use more of our crystalline genetic structure, because remember, they're using also crystalline genetic structure, there is going to be, in the near future, a scenario where we actually get to interact and eventually mate with them, absolutely. But we have to be upgraded in order to mate with them, all right? Because if they were to mate with us now, it would be equivalent to us mating with primitives or with monkey men, and that is an abomination, guys. All right, we don't want to mate with animals, right? We want to mate with our kind, or people that are I can't even talk, our level of our spirituality. Oh my God, that was a tongue twister. Stuart Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. Venusia is asking, so are we going to join the inner Earth at the solar flash? There is going to be open interaction with the inner Earth. Some humans are going to decide to go live in the inner Earth, and some humans are going to decide to stay on the surface and only go there on vacation. That is all dependent on the individual. So that all depends on what you want to do. And then also, to be frank with you guys, some of us are going to go off to different solar systems. Some of us are going to go off to different galaxies, right? When the Earth becomes part of the 4th density, 5th density, and 6th density fields of reality, we're going to go intergalactic. It's not just going to be us interacting with the inner Earth civilizations, but it's going to be us also taking our place in the cosmic community. So yeah, life is going to be much, much broader and more enhanced. Please tell us about Lemuria and Lemurians. Well, the Lemurian civilization was overseen by a very strong matriarch. It was dominated by the feminine principle, the mother goddess. So the council of elders were all women, very similar to what we see in the movie Wonder Woman. These women were wise teachers, mentors, and warriors, and they were known as the motherland of all the existing ancient civilizations that used to exist on the surface before the dawn of the negative Anunnaki, who kind of messed things up. So yeah, the ancient Lemurians were very feminine. The women were considered superior to the men, and the women were the ones that were the guardians, the gatekeepers, the teachers, the masters, the way showers in ancient Lemuria. And it is believed that there were two types of Lemurians. There were the Lemur type, which existed on the land, and then there were also the aquatic type that lived in the oceans, very similar to the mermans and mermaids. And the Lemurians did not have any external technology. The Lemurians were a perfect example of what we see in the movie Avatar, hence the Pandorians. They were very in tune with the planet. So their technology was more of a symbiotic, having a symbiotic relationship with the elements, you could say. I'm drinking water, guys, for my new subscribers. This is not a Mickey's. I don't drink beer. This is mountain spring water. This is a question. I will address this question. This is a question from K. Price. Oh, and by the way, guys, I did reach out to what's her name? The lady that was supposed to roll out or show us the med beds, Sky Prince. I believe her name is Sky Prince. I did reach out to her to see if she wanted to do a collaboration. She hasn't responded. I'm just patiently waiting for her response. I believe it's Sky Prince. A lot of people are asking me about Sky Prince. So to answer this question, Ishmael, do I understand you to say we are going to be put into a deep sleep, and when we wake up, we will know everything? Does that mean our pineal will open? Not necessarily. I don't think we're going to be put into a deep sleep. When we become activated, due to the last trigger of the solar flash, it's going to be an immediate remembrance of who we are, who we were, and what we're here to do. Okay? I also wanted to thank Elizabeth Hutchinson for her wonderful, generous donation. She says, seems like there is a lot of evidence of sun simulator, or at very least, our real sun is being manipulated. I think you have said you don't believe simulator is being used. Just curious thoughts. Why? Is the bright white sun our 50 sun? Thank you. That is a good question. And no, our sun is it's not a fake sun. It's a real sun. Just like ourselves, just like the planets, and just like the universe, the sun goes through different phases of evolution. So what started off as a red sun, which evolved into a yellow sun, it's going to go into a white sun as we go into 50 Earth. Yes. So even our sun is in a state of metamorphosis going through a transformation, you could say. So no, I don't think it's a fake sun. It's a real sun. However, there has been many attempts by the negative Anunnaki and the Cabal to block the sun and its rays from reaching us. And then the second part of your question. Oh, I guess I answered the entire question. So no, the sun is not being manipulated. Not at all. It's impossible to manipulate our sun because our sun is a sentient conscious being at a macro level of reality, right? It is a social memory complex of different planetary bodies that have uh, joined together in a unimind to create a sun. Okay, that's what our sun is. It is a unimind of different planetary bodies that have joined together to become a star. The woolly mammoth. Yes, the woolly mammoth was an extinct giant elephant that, again, was encountered by Admiral Byrd when he explored the realms beyond Antarctica. So, yeah, the woolly mammoths do exist. Um, a lot of the exotic creatures with beautiful colors, exotic looking, specimens, flowers, flora, fauna, all of that is real, and it's all within the inner Earth. This is a question from Sacred Rose. Will you be making movies with this information? That is a good question. Sure, I'm open to that. Why not? Why not make movies about our cosmic origin or the information that was revealed in our cosmic origin? The secret government. I believe that these should be the new movies to educate people on a large scale. Absolutely. I am very open. Yes. Why was this information hidden from the human race? This is a question from Bobby Lanning. Well, because first and foremost, the negative Anunnaki, under the direction of Enki and Marduk, they didn't want us to know that we were spiritual, multidimensional beings. First of all. Second of all, they wanted to lock us into a very limited range or frequency fence without allowing us to experience or explore other dimensions and other realms. And third of all, they wanted us to believe that we were it, that there are no other universes, that there were no galaxies, that there were no other planets, that there were no other civilizations. And that's why they changed everything around in the holy books to make us believe that we were it, that there is nothing else but us, in order to control us, and many other reasons. But yeah, those are the three primary reasons why this negative force decided to hide the truth from us. But when you think about it, when you really think about what the word revelation or apocalypse means, right? The last book of the Bible. What does apocalypse means? It means a great reveal. It means a flooding of information that will come at the end of the cycle that was held from humanity for thousands of years. That is what the true meaning of apocalypse means. And that is what's happening right now. The only difference is that you guys, the awakened, are light years ahead of the herd, of the general masses. You guys are light years ahead of the populace. That's the only difference. But all of this information is going to hit mainstream. And when it does, again, it's going to change everything, guys. Tim Potter says Enki needs to be obliterated. I agree, but unfortunately, he escaped through a portal into a different universe, and he went to what is known as the Phantom Matrix, which is an artificial cybernetic inorganic timeline. So Enki became cyborg. He became a cyborg, and he was able to escape to the Phantom Matrix. But at the end of the millennium, guys, we're going to have a final battle with the Phantom Matrix, with the inorganic timeline. And we've already won that war. I've already mentioned that. I don't know who Mark Atwood is. It would be nice to do a live with him. I don't have his contact though. You're so welcome, Jenny Phillips. She's thanking me for all this wonderful information. You're so welcome. But I would advise for you guys to also do your own research. Always do your own research. Don't depend on me to give you guys the info. All right. Don't depend on anybody in that regard. Yes, it's good to listen to others and learn from others. But more importantly, guys, take some time to do your research as well. Question: is there a King Kong in the inner earth? This is a question from Natasha M. And the answer to that is yes. There are actually several King Kongs. And again, this goes back to the unholy genetic experiments that were conducted by Enki during Atlantean times, where he was creating all kinds of abominations and giants and, growing these animals into 400 feet tall, so on and so forth. So, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. Godzilla type of creatures. We hear about these creatures in mythology. Most of these creatures were actually defeated by the heroes of old, who were the sons of Zeus, Enlil, Jehovah, Yahweh, right? The angels, the gods of righteousness. But at the same time, some of them were preserved in stasis, and that they still exist within the pit of the earth, it is believed. I missed a super chat. Let's see if I missed a super chat. I've addressed Elizabeth Hutchinson. I've addressed Stuart Williams, Edward Jerome. That's the only ones I see. I don't see any other super chat. Elizabeth McQuaid is asking me, how do you get all of this great information? Do you get downloads or clairvoyantly see, clairaudiently hear? For the most part, I tap into, the Akashic records. I'm connected with my higher galactic self, who is a part of the Galactic Alliance. And I also do research. I also do tons of research. I'm always reading. I've been reading ever since I was 16 years old. So it's from different directions. But, I'll, again, guys, if you guys really want to be mind blown, read my books. Start with The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and then jump into Our Cosmic Origin. It is a treasure trove of information, right? It's okay. This is a good question from Cosmic Goddess. What dimension is Inner Earth in? I believe that it is 4th, 50, and 60. Yes, the Inner Earth is still part of the Terra Earth, which exists in harmonic band universe 2, which is Earth existing in 4D, 5D, and 6D. So when we go into Terra Earth 4D, when we shift into that Earth 4D, 5D, and 6D, there's going to be a convergence between us and them, which explains why we're going to be interacting with them. Galactic Rose says it is the Starseed Bible. Okay. Thank you for that compliment, but nowhere will I ever consider the book Our Cosmic Origin a Bible. But thank you. It is more of a galactic, cosmic, wealth of information, but I don't know if I want to call it a Bible. Yes, I'm still wearing my palinate crystal, as you guys can see. And it does help raise my frequency, guys. I'm not going to, deny it. It does. When I wear it, I do feel the difference as opposed to when I'm not wearing it. So if you wear it, it does help raise your vibration. Absolutely. You feel happier. You feel more at peace. Ishmael, can you give us more information on indigo children? Well, what about indigo adults? You have to understand that the indigos began to incarnate in the 40s and 50s. So we are already in our, some of us are 80s, in our 70s, 40s, 30s. So we are all part of the indigo race, right? The advanced souls that have incarnated in human form are all part of the indigo race. Ishmael, will there be pornography, drug addiction, and homelessness, crime in the new earth? Absolutely not. No, no, no. All right, let me explain this. Pornography, drug addiction, and homelessness, or anything that has to do with human suffering, is a byproduct of the cabal's activities on the earth. For those that have read The Secret Government, even the mafias, the Cosa Nostra of Italy, right? The Colombian mafia, the Mexican mafia, they're all connected to the Knights of Malta and the Black Pope. So when they are eliminated, pornography, drug addiction, and homelessness will also be eliminated. Joanna says, I missed 2 super chats. Let me rewind. Give me a minute here. I thought I addressed them all. Let me see. All right, I just addressed that. Will there be homelessness, pornography, and drug addiction? And the answer is no, not in the new earth. All right, this is another one. RVZZK is asking, hi Ishmael, why Whiteheads are so late with disclosure? I heard that they are ready to take over. Also, Sky Prince from Sydney says that the reason they are, I don't want to say that they're halting the process, but even the Whiteheads are doing things according to, you could say, the best way to describe that is they're letting this final script play out in order to fulfill prophecy. All right, but we don't have to worry because we are now evidently seeing it based on what's happening, right? With 45 coming back to office, we're seeing that it's just around the corner, guys. All right, but yes, it's been taking a long time due to the fact that there's been so many operations that have been going on for many, many years when it comes to the rescuing of children in these under subterranean cities, rescuing also the people, the humans that were taken off world that were slaves in the Mars colony and the inner Mars colony. That all takes time, guys. That all takes time. So, the Whiteheads, it's not like they're intending to prolong the suffering. They're just doing it all accordingly. They're just doing it all based on allowing the final script or the final faces of the script to roll out. I guess that's the best way to answer that. But we're getting close to November. We're getting close to something big happening. It could actually happen before November. But you also have to understand, guys, that we have to also honor the age. All right, the age of Pisces ends at the end of 2024. So, according to astrological calculations, the age of Pisces is ruled by the dark side until the age of Aquarius comes into play. The age of Aquarius comes into play at the end of this year. So everything in divine timing. Oops. I just got another super chat from Rochelle Rose. Do you think we have had a recent timeline merge? There has been multiple timeline mergers taking place. In fact, before April, before the Y Hats took over CERN, we were constantly shifting into different parallel Earth realities, and each one was slightly a different timeline. So right now there is a convergence taking place where everything is collapsing back to the sacred and only timeline, which was originally intended by Prime Creator. So yes, there has been recent timeline merges, absolutely. All right, guys, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and I got to go put my clothes in the dryer. It's laundry day for me here on planet Earth. Sharon Snyder, thank you so much. Super chat, sister, and that little cartoon character. That was very thoughtful of you. Sei Shang is asking, how can a 4D soul go to 5D? How long does it take, or what it takes to go to 5D? Well, the 4D souls, right now, as a collective, the Earth Terrans are moving from the 3rd density to the 4th density, which corresponds to the green chakra, right? It's a matter of individual choices. It's also a matter of how far and how fast do they want to evolve spiritually. So during the millennium, during the golden age of Aquarius, the Terra Earthlings are going to have the opportunity to evolve at a rapid pace. So everyone's going to be different. Some are going to advance faster than others. And yes, guys, there's going to be a restoration of the ancient mystery schools, academies of light, of higher cosmic education and spiritual knowledge, where we're going to be teaching meditation, thought focus. We're going to be teaching our children the power of visualization. We're going to be teaching our children how to unravel their spiritual gifts. All that stuff is going to be happening in the new Earth. Absolutely. This is a question from Craig Tolls. Hi, Ishmael. Did Anu and the Anunnaki place the moon on its current location, ensuring the Earth's rotation and timeline? It wasn't Anu. Wait, hold on. Let's see what you're asking. No, it wasn't Anu. It was actually okay. So before we had this wobble, right? They call it the wobble of the equinoxes. Everything was in perfect alignment, right? We were part of different dimensions. The Earth existed in different dimensions, right? We had spiritual beings, celestials coexisting with terrestrials, right? This is before the flood, right? There's evidence of that in all the holy books, including the Sumerian records. After that, everything was thwarted. Everything was thwarted into a false timekeeping matrix where things just fell out of place. And it is believed that the guardians, not Anu, but the guardians higher than Anu, have returned to the earth to set everything, or to put everything back in perspective, you could say. So it wasn't Anu, it was the guardians of the earth, or I'm sorry, the guardians of the universe, which are 12 and 13 dimensional beings. So Chastain Rose is saying the fallen angelic Anu Elohim, you must be referring to the Luciferian Anunnaki, right, which is the reptilian Anunnaki. They were the ones that put the moon here, creating this matrix. And the answer to that is yes, they did. Not only did they create a matrix by using the frequencies that were broadcasting from the rings of Saturn onto the moon, onto us to keep us stuck here, but they also put into place what is known as the black satellite antenna. The black satellite antenna, in order to monitor the Earth from the Epsilon Boöte star system, which is where, of course, the negative Anunnaki had a strong stronghold. This is a good question from Nature Boy. He's asking, what role will the superhumans play in the middle timeline after the flood, after the flash? And the answer to that is they're going to be like superheroes, because in the middle timeline, we're going to have Earth Terrans, humans with no powers, right? Just regular humans. We're going to have cyborgs, which are going to be like the villains. They're going to be the bullies. And then we're going to have the superhumans, the angelic physical humans that did not merge with technology, that activated their superhuman abilities, who are going to be like superheroes. So the middle timeline is literally going to be very likened to what we read in Marvel comics and in DC comics. Absolutely. All right, one more question, Galactic Jedis. Diana's, okay, so Chastain Rhodes wants me to talk about Diana's collective, the Elion councils, Elohim, the original celestial councils. Well, those are the Council of 12, the original Council of Elders that governed the different dimensions. They are the guardians of the realms. They are the highest order of the Emerald Covenant, known as the Order of Gold. You know, there's different divisions and branches, right? You have the Blue Ray, you have the Sapphire Ray, you have the Ruby Order. Well, the Elohim were the original guardians of creation. They are what we call the Christos race. They are the original Christos race. Christos, as in they're Christed beings. And many believe that some of them have actually incarnated, and they are part of the starseed community. So they are living among us, which explains why the externalization of the spiritual hierarchy is set to externalize and manifest in Earth or on Earth very, very soon. Yes, 3 divisions. You're going to have positive organic Earth. You're going to have a negative technocratic dystopian, and then you're going to have a middle timeline that are going to exist separately for about 1,000 years. And at the end of 1,000 years, there's going to be a final battle against the inorganic timeline. And this is recorded in the Bible, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Rig Vedas. They all talk about how there's going to be a temporary neutralization of evil, which is AI, right? And reptilians, archons, which is all associated with AI, for about 1,000 years. And then there's going to be a final battle at the end of 1,000 years. Alrighty, guys. I hope that you guys had a blast with me on Saturday night. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys Monday night when I give a White Hat Earth Alliance report. May the God Force be with each and every single one of you. Don't forget to be present. And don't forget to also remember who you are. Sometimes we forget who we are. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Bye.